Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at sales forecasts. Every sales manager and executive wants to have this information available to check against projections and budgets. A typical sales forecast is made up of confirmed sales and opportunities by probability. A simple formula for this would be confirmed sales plus projected sales multiplied by their probability. So how do we achieve this in the R2 suite? Confirmed sales are equal to reservations in R2, so that's pretty straightforward. Projected sales would be quotes and holds. How would we assign a probability to quotes and holds? And how would we account for opportunities that are not yet in R2? For these, we'd use a CRM. The R2 CRM does more than just track opportunities. It allows the sales team to go after new companies and track their movement from suspect to lead and prospect to a one customer. The sales team can track their contact with each of these companies through activities. Track calls, meetings, emails, any communications used to win the customer or an opportunity. Let's jump over to the CRM for a quick view. The CRM opens on the activities. It brings your attention to what tasks you have marked to address today. It also shows tasks that are past due, future tasks, and completed tasks. This is also where you'd be able to track companies from suspect, lead, through prospect, all the way to the point where they're a customer. And getting back to our sales forecast report, the CRM also tracks opportunities. As we mentioned earlier, confirmed sales would be R2 reservations. We'd use the CRM to track opportunities leading up to a reservation. Similar to moving a company from suspect to customer, an opportunity moves phases as well. A simple workflow could include qualification, quote, negotiation, and won or lost. And for our sales projections, we would use the probability. Other information that's important to track on an opportunity is the value, the expected close date, and the lead source. You can use the same activities we saw earlier to track your activities on opportunities. List any activities that you had previously, and from here I can go and create a new task, follow up call to discuss the gear. Set this one for tomorrow. And it's assigned to me. That activity will show up here, and of course that activity will also show up on my upcoming list. Of course, this is the R2 CRM. That means that it works with your R2 system. When prospecting companies, you may prefer to keep them out of your R2 database to keep your customer list in R2 as clean as possible. When the company becomes a customer, then you can choose to push them over to R2, and they'll be added to your database. We can do the same with opportunities. Once an opportunity is a stage where you want to bring it into the R2 system, this is our Camera Expo LA, we have a button to push it to R2, and in R2 we'll create a project with the same name. So let's jump quickly over into R2 and go and find that project. So project, search for camera, and the project is created. The project is already associated with the company that was also brought over from the CRM. And then, of course, I can go and add as many orders as I need to under that project. It does give a lot of flexibility to have multiple orders under that one opportunity. Of course, an opportunity could be more inclusive than just a one-off order. It could be a larger event that has multiple orders. So a CRM opportunity is equal to a project. So going back to our formula, we now have all the data that's needed for the sales forecast report. Let's go over to R2 Hero, where I've built a report. The report we're looking at is the raw process data. So for reservations, we can see that the order revenue is equal to the forecast because those are our confirmed orders. But for a quote, we can see that the forecast is 50% of the order revenue because the probability is set to 50%. Reports in R2 Hero are built using datasets. This report is built off of a dataset that uses the standard R2 report view, rep profit margin. Now, rep profit margin has a lot of the fields that I need for the sales forecast, but it doesn't include any of the CRM information. So to add the CRM information into this dataset, I use some of the features that come with R2 Hero for merging datasets together. That's done under the flow steps. So here I did use another view, and then it did allow me to bring in fields from another view that does include the CRM information. Other things that I did with the flow steps is I did actually create a formula for that forecast. This is a formula that calculates the forecast. So if it's a reservation, or if it's a sign-off, or it's an invoice, then we're going to equal, the forecast revenue is going to equal the order revenue. If it's canceled, it's going to equal 0. And if it's a quote, or if it's a hold, or if it's just an opportunity, we're going to do the forecasted revenue times the probability. So all of these are standard features within R2 Hero, and even AI within R2 Hero helped me to write the formula. Let's go ahead and save our data set. And just a reminder, I did show this in one of the previous webinars about R2 Hero. Some of the really nice features that I like in R2 Hero are, of course, the Discover feature, where here I can just choose some field. So, of course, this is based on the forecast, so we want our forecast. I can choose the site, and I can choose the probability. Those are our three main fields that we may be interested in. And R2 Hero will come up with some different visuals, different things or different ways that we would want to look at the data. So this is by site, giving us the forecast by probability. So that's a really nice view. If we scroll down, 784K total revenue, total forecasted revenue, and then of course breaking it up into just a table, so that would give us more information. Different visuals that are created. Of course, from here I can go and save any of these visuals, and that visual can then be used in a dashboard. Going back to our report itself, so within the report, some of the features that I like are, of course, being able to apply filters. So you can filter it by date or by salesperson, or in this case, I did also create a pivot table. So let's go ahead and pick, again, the main things that we want to be able to look at are going to be in this case, we'll look at the site and the salesperson and the probability, and then the value that we want to see, of course, is going to be a sum, and we can also take a count of our revenue. Let's go ahead and just do this with a summary, and that gives us a nice pivot table and breaks the information down to us with some of the totals. And that can be saved to be used again later in dashboards. I did take the liberty of going ahead and building a dashboard already. So let's take a look at that dashboard. So here are sales projections. In this dashboard, of course, I did bring in that same pivot table, but I also have two graphs. One is by salesperson and one is by site. And of course, for each, it does break it down by the probability. R2 Hero also provides drill downs, so you can click on any one of these and drill down by, and it'll give you all of the different things that you could possibly drill down by. In this case, and maybe I want to do that by site, and it'll just give me all of the information for that one salesperson, and then makes it very easy to go back. In this case, I also added one more feature onto this dashboard, and this is basically the raw data one more time. But in this case, I did focus on anything that is upcoming that we have the possibility of closing in the near future. So this does give a sales manager or executive some insight to things that we could possibly give a little bit more of a push and try to close as soon as possible. This, of course, is filtered and sorted by the ship date, which, of course, is approaching, and then it does have the forecast and the current probability. So to summarize, we did use the R2 CRM, R2, and R2 Hero to complete the sales forecast report in its entirety. We used the CRM for tracking sales and customer activities. We used R2, of course, for order creation and for projects, and of course, R2 Hero for analysis and for reporting.